I want to talk through this chart because I think it could be really good news. Those of you who know my Facebook and also my YouTube, I put a set of charts on Facebook every day. The bars, I get those from the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. They produce a weekly report, and I just put those numbers into a spreadsheet and keep them. And then the dots, the sort of the trend line, the curve that's made up of dots, that comes from the UK Gov data. And what I've had to do is take the daily data, run it through R so that it's weekly data. You can look at this chart in distinct phases. You've got the first wave where the reported COVID deaths were grossly underestimating the excess deaths which came through, which you'd expect because it was very, very difficult to get a test. And I think even some people went into hospital and weren't tested because they just didn't have the capacity. Then in winter 2020, 2021, you had the UK alpha wave. The excess deaths, they were lower than the reported deaths, but they did track, wherever there were COVID deaths, there were excess deaths. Then the weirdest one, I think, is when you get into the Delta wave that happened in 2021, the COVID deaths and the excess deaths, they almost match perfectly. It's quite strange. And this is the bit that I'm getting to now, really, is then we got Omicron. And Omicron did produce a spike in excess deaths, but it was very short-lived. And since then, we've got this situation where they're reporting, up to 500-600 deaths a day, COVID deaths, in the UK Gov COVID data. But the excess deaths are negative. And I think that's really good news. And I also want to say that these are excess deaths measured against the same week in 2019. So what we're saying is, or what I think the data is saying, is that you can have what looks like a COVID wave with widespread cases and high numbers of reported deaths, certainly over 200 some days. And you've got, in that week, you've got less deaths than we had in the equivalent week in 2019. If you found this interesting, useful, if you saw this video, because I think it won't go out to anyone because of the topic, please subscribe if you don't mind. Thanks a lot. Bye.